Welcome! We are Amanda, Brittany, and Morgan. We are here today to share ideas about classroom management. We are going to discuss 4 factors that will help you create management that will be effective for your classroom. The first factor of classroom management is rules and procedures. All classrooms should have a set of rules and procedures. These should be developed with your students so they feel as though they have a voice in the classroom. Rules and procedures have an impact on learning and behavior both at home and at school. Rules focus on expectations for behavior and are general guidelines for the classroom. Procedures focus more on specific activities during the day. Students should help create general classroom rules that should be reviewed at the beginning and end of each school day. There should be procedures in place for the beginning and end of the day, transitions, materials and equipment, group work, and seat work. An example of creating rules and procedures is as follows. Amanda teaches first grade and makes it a point at the beginning of the year to create rules and procedures with her students. Before creating the general rules of the classroom, she discusses with her students the reasons why rules are needed. After the discussion, Amanda allows the students to contribute their ideas to the list of rules. Once the classroom rules have been set and agreed upon, students will sign a contract promising to try their best to follow the rules during the year. The second factor of classroom management is discipline. A lack of discipline creates problems in the classroom. Teachers feel unprepared for misbehavior and feel like it takes up half of their time. Marzano states that effective management must come from both school-wide policies and classroom rules. There are 2 types of discipline techniques that Marzano talks about. The first type is think time. Think Time is a program that decreases disruptive behavior and increases student engagement. It has 3 goals: to provide consistent consequences, feedback for behavior, and to initiate positive exchanges. Children are sent to another room to think about their actions and how they can change them for next time. The second type of discipline that Marzano discusses is assertive discipline. Assertive discipline includes redirection, minimal negative consequences, and appropriate positive consequences. Interventions that teachers can use for discipline include teacher reaction, tangible recognition, direct cost, group contingency, and home contingency. Teacher reactions can include verbal and nonverbal cues and stimulus cueing. Tangible recognition includes giving extrinsic rewards for good behavior and taking away things for misbehavior. Direct cost is directed more toward the negative behaviors and consequences than positive. Timeout is an example of direct cost. Group contingency consists of rewarding the whole class. Home contingency consists of making parents aware of positive and negative behaviors. It is important to establish clear limits for negative behavior and have a way to keep track of this behavior. An example of school discipline is as follows. At the beginning of the year, Morgan and her students establish rules and procedures. Morgan explains that there is a jar for good behavior. When they make good choices, a student puts a pebble in their pebble jar. As the year goes on, the students know what is expected of them. They work together to meet classroom expectations. When the jar is filled, the students vote as a class on a reward they would like, which can include recess, movies, free time, or a snack. The third factor of classroom management is teacher-student relationships. Establishing good procedures, rules, and discipline will not be as effective if the teacher does not have a positive relationship with his or her students. Without building this positive relationship, students are more likely to misbehave. In order for this relationship to be effective, the teacher must take on an authoritative role but still be caring to her students. The teacher cannot belittle or attack a student, but must display clear expectations for the students to follow. Teachers need to set learning goals, get to know their students, be fair and positive in all aspects of the classroom. Teachers need to be conscious of the differences in all of their students. An example of good rapport is as follows. Every morning, Brittany waits at her door to greet each student as they come in. She greets them by saying hello and asking how they are that day. Throughout the day, she takes time to talk to the students as a group or one-on-one. At the end of the day, while dismissing, each student high-fives Brittany before leaving. The fourth factor of classroom management is having the appropriate mindset and applying it in the classroom. The teacher should be aware of the surroundings in the classroom and what the students are doing at all times. If there is a misbehavior or a problem arises in the classroom, the teacher is able to address the issue immediately. Marzano quotes the research of Kunin and states that this idea is termed withedness. The next aspect of having a good mindset is to be emotionally objective toward all students. When teachers are emotionally objective, they do not let their emotions get in the way of how they address situations. An example of with itness is as follows. As a novice teacher, Amanda observed an expert teacher in her classroom. The expert teacher was conducting a small reading group while the other students were independently working at their seats. During this time, Amanda observed that the expert teacher was able to work with the small group while monitoring the rest of the class. During this time, she was effectively able to address a misbehavior in a quick, subtle way without taking her attention away from the small group. During her reflection time, Amanda questioned the expert teacher why she had to give a nonverbal cue to a student. This relates to Bransford, Brown, and Cocking's study on expert and novice teachers and what they notice within the classroom setting. In summary, a teacher who takes the time to involve his or her students in creating rules and procedures, is able to provide consistent and fair discipline, builds rapport in the classroom, and has a mindset that promotes objectivity towards all students, will in turn have an effective classroom. All of these factors help build and maintain effective classroom management and enhance student learning.